let's begin with the Russell Wilson tour. Has officially begun. Adam Schefter reporting that Wilson is visiting today with the Steelers and that he spoke with the Giants yesterday as the free agent-to-be explores possibilities for a new NFL destination. Wilson expected to meet with other teams, including possibly the Raiders, according to sources. He was granted permission, as you know, by the Broncos to meet with teams in their home cities ahead of his expected release by the Broncos on Wednesday. Jeremy, what can you tell us about these meetings? I think the Giants was kind of a surprise to folks.
It was a surprise. I checked with a source involved. They said the meeting was, quote, very positive. Another one used the word exploratory, which was in Adam Schefter's report, which makes sense. That's kind of where the Giants are. This is a quarterback you can sign for the league minimum, and I'm told that Wilson is motivated to sign at a low number for his new team because of all the money that Denver owes him. So his market is fairly robust as a result, where people at least want to chat with him, see what he offers. The Giants, I'm told, are certainly comfortable with Daniel Jones being the quarterback in 2024. They're also looking at the landscape, potential draft, potential veteran like Wilson. So he's highly motivated. They fit the criteria of a team that's won before. He wants to go somewhere that can set a standard for him.
I mean, who can blame Joe Schoen, right, for turning over every stone, especially at that price? All right, so let's get Mina and Bill back in here. Let's start with the Giants. Daniel Jones, we know he's rehabbing that torn ACL. He doesn't have any guaranteed money after this season. Mina, what do you think of this as a fit?
I understand it from New York's perspective, given how little Wilson will cost. I don't understand it so much from Russell Wilson's perspective. Given that Daniel Jones is going to count over $40 million against cap, seems unlikely that Russ would come in and win the job outright. Perhaps they would have a quarterback competition or be open to it. And also, as we saw last year, this is a very tricky situation in New York, especially the offensive line, which we're going to address later, is a major issue. Russell Wilson is a quarterback who takes a lot of sacks. That doesn't strike me as a great football marriage. However, he might not have that many options, in which case New York could be on the table. So I understand the idea that it's exploratory, given that it could end up there eventually.
Yeah, probably not Russell Wilson's first choice of possible landing spots, but there is some logic here. If you think about a coaching staff that's going to get the most out of a quarterback, Giants stand pretty high on that list. Remember, they took Daniel Jones from being a guy who had his fifth-year option declined to a guy who got more than $80 million guaranteed after the 2022 season. And last year, after Daniel Jones got hurt, they won games with Tommy DeVito at quarterback. They have managed to get the most out of limited pieces at receiver, along the offensive line, and at quarterback. So if Russell Wilson is hoping to maximize his talents in a new spot, wouldn't fault him for at least having a conversation with the New York Giants.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, why wouldn't anybody get a Super Bowl winning quarterback at a bargain basement price? What about the Steelers? What do we know about that meeting today?
Well, he's in the building today. I do know that the Steelers have Russell Wilson's attention because he wants a team that not only has won, but has won consistently. And the Steelers are in the playoffs virtually every year in that conversation with Mike Tomlin. They have weapons. They have everything they need but the proverbial quarterback. And so he believes he could slide in there. But what's complicated is coming out of the combine, I was getting a strong sense from sources that they were going to give Kenny Pickett another chance, or at least were strongly flirting with that.
Really?
They had offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, went down to South Florida, meet with him extensively. They had a great meeting. So the process of rebuilding Pickett is underway at the same time. So they're sort of going two paths at once here.
Yeah, it was really rocky last year, but like you said, maybe with a new OC in there, who knows? And the whole thing just seems so awkward bringing Russell Wilson into any situation. But what do you think, Mina?
This one makes a little bit more sense to me for both sides, but looking at it from Russell Wilson's perspective, very nice group of skill players. Wilson still throws a beautiful deep ball, and it's easy to imagine him launching bombs to George Pickens outside the numbers. He also is mobile. We saw that last year, actually. He was more mobile than the prior year, and I think that's something that Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator, values. Something that Smith also wants to do, though, is attack the middle of the field, which is an area that Wilson doesn't really throw to lately. Now, neither does Kenny Pickett, so when you're considering the competition, it's not like he is a much better fit for Arthur Smith's offense. So there's some mismatch, but there's also some things to like. And if I was Wilson, I would strongly consider Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's not a perfect schematic fit, but certainly in the way that the that the Steelers win games, it feels like Russell Wilson is a good fit in terms of what he can still do well, and that's protecting the football. Last couple of years, the Steelers, really the only way they've won games has been by either winning or tying the turnover battle. They're 0-11 when they've lost the turnover battle over the past couple of seasons. And Russell Wilson last year was not a great quarterback by any means in Denver, but he did do a good job of protecting the football. 12 of his 15 starts, he managed to either turn the ball over no times or just one time. So for the Steelers, that Mike Tomlin magic, some of that weird stuff where we don't know how they're 6-1 at the midpoint of the season, I think Russell Wilson can keep that up stylistically, even if, again, he's not the perfect fit in terms of what Arthur Smith wants to do on the offensive side of the football.
It just seems like whatever the situation is, though, there needs to be some clarity. Is he going in there as a starter? Is he going in there competing for a starting job? Is he going in there as a backup? What are you? I know you wanted to add something in the middle of that discussion.
They're sorting all that right now because I was told he got in the building about an hour ago. So the meeting is happening right now this afternoon. So they haven't got a gauge of how this is going to go yet exactly. Those exact questions are being answered right now.